G'day Tiger fans and welcome to Richmond's live official podcast Talking Tigers. Today we have the debut of TT's own Shawn Grigg, who will become a regular contributor over the back half of this season 2017. Plenty to talk about with Griggy ahead of a blockbuster clash on Sunday against our arch rival the Blues at the MCG. Also on today's show we have an update of the whereabouts of GR's jacket that has gone missing from the Richmond Football Club Museum. We'll also talk about the exciting game of Shea Bolton on Saturday v the Swans and all your regular segments and shenanigans. Boys, welcome. Can't wait to chat to Griggy. Do you reckon he'll give us a Spudvar voucher, Tom?
Well, hopefully, if we can get... What is that noise? What's that noise?
I knew you wouldn't like that.
Oh,
that is the great Metallica.
it's just doing my head in.
Don't you like Metallica?
No.
Well, that's Ride the Lightning from Metallica.
Why Ride the Lightning?
Oh, because Shea Bolton, he is lightning quick.
Bolton.
You get that?
Oh, that's
He's
good.
lightning quick. Yeah, that's
good.
Ride the Lightning from Metallica. Get involved on today's show. Hashtag Talking Tigers. JB might read out your tweet. You can stump Greeners. Hashtag stump Greeners. We've got another one of those today. Or you can email us, talkingtigers@richmondfc.com.au. But guys, welcome. And how good was Shea Bolton on the weekend?
Oh,
Wasn't it exciting?
He was electrifying. He was best on ground in the first half.
Yeah, absolutely. Those two goals that he kicked were a roving masterclass. I think it was no fluke on Sydney's part that they put their best defender in Nick, best small defender in Nick Smith, a premiership winning All-Australian small defender on him, and his influence was curtailed in the second half, but his first half was outstanding.
Oh, it was as
Really
good as you get. He's probably a bit unlucky. Jack Silvani played so well and got the Rising Star, but he'll get one in the future. You know who would have loved his form?
Who?
Our man.
Who? He would have. The Flea would have. Yeah, no, you're
Flea
right.
loves front and square coming.
Yeah.
I can't wait to ask Flea what he thought about it.
No, it's a good point. You know, and it was interesting that Jack during the week, Jack Rewald had said that he also can take an absolute specky. So we look forward to that because he's been doing it on the training track. And at VFL level, so we look forward to him doing that at AFL level too.
He's a smooth mover, isn't he?
He's got it all, really.
We'll have to ask Griggy about him when he comes in a bit later.
I hope Griggy does. I'm starving. I hope he does bring in some spuds.
We're a bit late today too, sorry.
That's why I'm so hungry.
We're actually coming to you live. I know it's not a good thing for radio or podcasting, but we are actually live inside the museum, but we're sitting around the old boardroom table today.
You're channeling Octa Wilson. You're channeling all the former presidents. You're in the president's chair.
I'm sitting in the president's chair, and you'll be able to see this on our website later on because we're going to video the Shawn Grigg interview, and you'll be able to see where we're sitting. We've got the big tiger head and skin in front of us here.
I think Roland needs to give it a vacuum.
He needs to
flaring up my nose.
But thanks to Roland. Thanks to Roland who's let us...
Yeah, thanks to Roland.
Let us sit in.
Absolutely.
And to Rhett.
Yeah.
Rhett's...
Red Bartlett's here.
Yeah.
But Greenus, you did love Shea's form.
Oh, I thought he was electrifying, really, and I thought he was the most influential player on the ground in the first half. What are you doing?
Attention! That's Octa's old
gavel.
What do you call that?
Gavel.
Yeah.
The gavel. Righto.
You want to talk about another player though now?
Do I?
Yeah.
Who do I want to talk about? Dave Asprey.
Look at your rundown.
Yeah, Bolton. Yeah, Bolton chat. We've done that. Rancy. I want to talk about Rancy.
Boy.
How good is Alex Rance going? He has taken his game to an even higher level. He just, every week, he solidifies his reputation, enhances his reputation as the best key defender in the game currently. And if he keeps this going, no doubt he'll have to be in the discussion for the best of all time.
Well, another well-known defender, Danny Frawley, I saw on the weekend, and Spud is now convinced he's in there with Scarlett Silvani.
Oh, he has to be.
David Dench, and he reckons he's right up there now. So, look, Spud's a pretty keen observer of defenders. So
he's performed right through, but in that last quarter in particular, I mean, if he hadn't been there, we might have got beaten by we would have got beaten by a fair bit more than that.
And he was doing the attacking side of the game as well in the last quarter.
He just does it all. He just does it all. His ability just to drop off his opponent and just and intercept is just outstanding.
It's
elite.
I knew he was a competitor when he first got here, but I didn't know he could get to this level.
Well, might be appearing in my my top 10 Tigers today too.
Is that right?
Yes, interesting little.
okay.
Yeah.
Might have appeared in someone's yellow and blacker last week.
Oh yeah, no, that's a good point. Yeah,
He did.
yeah.
I might have nailed my yellow and black.
Right, okay, well that's coming up soon. But also his backup, if you like, or his
Partner in
apprentice,
crime.
his partner in crime, Dave Asprey. Again, he is enhancing his reputation by the week as well.
He's in-
I mean, he had 13 marks.
He's in.
13 marks.
If Rance is in good form, Asprey's not far behind
Well,
him
he's
in
just
form.
reading it so well too, and intercepting and looking really composed. And he's got that continuity with his footy. And last year was a watershed year for him because he was able to play 19 games, get that continuity, and he's taken it into obviously through the pre-season and the first half of this year. He's been excellent.
Yeah. In tandem, they're just about the best two
Yeah.
key defenders in
Yeah,
town.
no,
I mean,
they're
you
right
look
up
at the
there.
Crows, you've got Talia and I guess, Jake Lever
Yeah.
is a pretty handy player. And down at Geelong, you've got obviously Lonigan, Henderson, and I guess Harry Taylor
When
if he goes back.
there,
But Asprey and Rance,
No, they'd have to be right up there.
Right
in
up there.
consideration for that. There's no doubt, yeah.
so they're keeping us in games. That's why our defence
The other
is
one
so
that should be
strong.
mentioned also is Dylan Grimes. Like Dylan Grimes had 20 disposals on the weekend too, and he's going really well. And again, that's just getting the continuity in his football, and he's got the speed. His closing speed is excellent. So his ability to spoil, but he's also being quite attacking too.
Probably down the other end of the field, the second tall is what
it's hurting.
is hurting,
There's no doubt it's hurting.
especially late in the game when legs were tiring and just the bailout kick long down the line is where it's at. So
Yeah.
we had a couple of emails. If you want me to go with it,
Yeah, go with
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
Is it in regard to the tall forwards?
It is.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, read 'em
we
out
had
now,
about
Joe.
3 in all within about 10 minutes asking the same thing. This one's from Andrew Gasmeyer. So I'll start with. He loves the show, first and foremost. Richo, you're a legend. Greeners love reading your articles in Inside Footy growing up. Still have his papers in storage.
Got a
There you
good
go.
memory,
That's a
hasn't
very good memory.
And
I've been there for a while.
And yes, I even love club news. So
Wow.
that's written
Just the
from
sting.
Andrew, yep.
Just the sting.
That's why I wrote this one out. But I keep hearing that we need another tall in the forward line, and I don't know why we don't try Ivan Maric. Previously, he's been a great mark and shot for goal. He can ruck in the forward line, leaving Nank to the mid and back line. It would drag another tall defender away from Jack. I don't think we have anything to lose by trying him and everything to gain. What do you think?
Well, just on the first point that you raised, I thought on the weekend for the first time it really did hurt us not having a second key forward. Just late in the game when the young Smalls just were struggling a little bit. They were getting tired. The ball was going in and they were marking the footy and we just had to have someone down there.
Because Jack's really the only big target there, isn't he?
I thought it did hurt us because late in a game you do need players that can take contested marks and we just simply haven't got the personnel there at the moment. And I think it did hurt on the weekend. So that point of Ivan, I think it's nearly time. And we're not involved in the footy department,
of course
but
not, no.
we're the club podcast. But as an opinion, I think it might be time maybe to give Ivy a game.
To share the ruck duties?
Yeah, share the ruck. Toby could go forward and take a mark, and Ivan's been in solid form. We'll ask Lou later on in the VFL report.
So even Ivy could be a target up forward,
and
down the line.
Ivy can compete down the line and just give you that big body, bring it to ground and let the little guys go to work. So, it'll be interesting selection this week for the Carlton game. And they've got some informed key defenders too, Carlton. So,
there's no doubt.
yeah, it might be worth a look. So I agree with that email, yeah.
Well, thanks for sending that through. Andrew?
Yeah. Now, you mentioned Carlton. It will be a blockbuster.
Oh,
It will be. I mean, I know we've had the season openers and big crowd and but Carlton's form at the moment and ours. This is the first time in years that the two teams have been really in pretty good form. So
we'll ask Griggy this as well, obviously, but I reckon this is the biggest Carlton Richmond game since that elimination final. I think it is. I know the round one games are big, but
that's fair.
there's just a lot riding on this.
There's a lot.
Carlton have won the last 2 games. They're in really good form.
Yeah, really
they
good
are
form.
very competitive.
Yep.
And
it's a very important
and
one
for
for
us.
us.
West Coast are obviously playing Melbourne over
so
there.
we've got the
Sydney
opportunity
and Essendon are playing.
Opportunity to consolidate if we can win this.
It just would really be a big win. It would consolidate us in that top 6.
Very
so
true. Very
I
true.
think it's the biggest game for a long time. What crowd do you think?
I would think upwards of 70, 75,
Agreed. And can we just say what a great crowd last week's was as well? They
Enormous.
announced it at the worst possible time when Kieran Jack kicked that goal, but to have 58,721 for a game against the Swans in Melbourne.
It's a record crowd against an interstate club
In
at
Melbourne.
home for us.
Okay.
Yeah. And the biggest crowd in it for a Richmond Swans or Sydney South Melbourne game since the 77 elimination final for 40 years. So
Well, South have still got a lot of supporters down
yeah,
there.
massive.
they have. Yeah, true.
You would know that, JB. You worked at the Swans.
That was a while ago, but the Richmond fans came out in force as well.
They did.
Yeah,
It's a great effort.
Yep.
hopefully we all show up again on Sunday.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Got any tweets or anything, JB?
Yes, I've read the email out. Actually,
Swansea
let's
a
go
bit
with
off today, is he? Or? Oh, no, there he is.
He might be still celebrating
the
He
premiership.
could.
There's a cast of
Possibly,
thousands here to film. Greg. No one told me.
Oh,
I'm gonna
yes, no,
look
that's
like,
true.
Well, you know that
Death
the
warmed
show,
up.
there's something on the show today, because normally we have no one in
I
here
know.
watching
There's
us.
about 15
I
people
know,
out there.
I know.
It's extraordinary.
I saw Slowy out there before, too. He was here.
Well, he tweeted.
What's he doing there?
Slowy's in Melbourne.
What's he come down for?
Just to come and see
Talking Tigers.
us.
Oh,
Cricket.
fair enough.
Stump Greeners. Which former? This is a tough one.
Ooh, yeah.
This is from Ben Roberts. Which former player played their 50th game for Richmond in round 1 of 2005?
I reckon
Ben
I know.
sent through an answer, but I think his answer's even wrong. So that's
What
how
is
tough
it?
it is. Well, that's the Stump
50th
Greeners
50th game,
Round
round
one.
1, 2005.
against Geelong, if that helps.
Is Rhett Bartlett still there?
Yeah,
Rhett,
well, maybe we'd have Stump Rhett.
do you know that, Rhett?
50th game in round... Nah,
It doesn't matter.
Nah, it doesn't really matter.
He doesn't know.
Well, can I get a clue? Slight clue.
He gets mentioned a lot on the podcast.
He's
Does
a
he?
mate of mine.
Is he?
Good mate of mine.
Yep, one of two.
Ah. No, I don't know.
You don't know?
No, hang on. I do know.
50th game. Do the
Kane
math.
Pettifer.
The P train.
Well, that's what Ben Roberts wrote in.
All right. Well,
He said that was the answer, but
Eh?
I went to AFL tables, and I could be very wrong here, but it was Mark Coughlin.
Moose Coughlin.
Well, no, he hasn't got me because he's got the wrong... He hasn't... No, I claim a technicality here.
I reckon Kane Pettifer, based on my research, was round 13, 2005.
Yes,
but anyway, we can go...
he thought it was... Anyway, he thought
Anyway,
it was Kane.
Ben,
we'll
we'll
send
send
him.
you out a T-shirt anyway,
Yep,
so
yep.
don't worry. Tweets, which
Yes.
wasn't this one. We all saw this earlier last week.
Oh.
This is from Brendan Fisher at the Guggenheim, which is a fine art museum out in
New York City.
Yes.
Just near Central Park.
Yep, upper east side. Listening to Matt Richer, which is you, and the gang on Talking Tigers, I know what the real work of art is. And then he's thrown in the hashtag Greeners Gags.
Ah, so that's a very cultured individual.
Yeah.
Very, very cultured, sophisticated individual.
Who would ever have thought that we would be being listened to while you're looking at fine art in the Guggenheim?
Oh, it's
I don't
just
think there's much more we can do.
There's
No,
a lot.
there's not a lot. There's not a lot. We've covered all bases now, haven't we?
Jeremy Wells thinks that there was a segment on the website last week about Richo's top 5 performances, where the Greeners wants to go a bit further and do a top 10.
Did you see that? Tone?
The Chief was involved a bit.
You made me sad. I didn't have a
You
choice.
just showed us before.
I'm not joking you. Jen got sick of me watching it. I was just lying in bed.
You and Kev.
Yeah, Kevy. I
Kev,
showed
have a look
Kev.
at this. Have a look at what Dad's done here, Kev.
She actually said to me, "You're not watching that again, are you?" I watched it about 50 times. Jeez, I was happy with myself.
How many times is your kid going to have to watch all this stuff too? Hey, how many times?
Yeah, I feel sorry for him.
Anyway, we'll be punchy, so just a couple more. Mick Sonny G, give him a shout out for coming down to the game.
There's a good question on there, one I saw earlier, JB.
Did you?
Yeah. Oh, it doesn't know if you can find it. Manfred Mann got involved.
Oh,
didn't
yeah,
he?
he's Manfred. He's given his mid-year report. He's given us 2 and 8. Sconners a 10, which is probably fair. Lou,
Sucking up to Sconners.
Lou is understudy an 8, and he's given you a 7 green.
Yeah, why?
Durability needs some
because
work.
I've given him a few whacks for wearing that dopey jumper all the time. He just has given me a 7.
And then
That's
Richo's
all.
responded saying he'd give the top 10 a 2, which is, that's a bit harsh.
Oh, you think that's funny, mate?
It's an ordinary segment.
Oh, is it?
I'll look
Well,
forward
wait
to
for
it.
today.
Okay.
Yeah, before you comment.
Oh, Mick wants us to give a shout out to Dave and Ryan and his old man Steve, who are
No, we
listening.
can't.
No, we will. Don't be like that.
No, well, we can't.
Yeah, I can't say a question, but Christmas Smithers said he wanted to highlight Asprey again being pivotal and Rance being Rance as always.
Yep.
Hooley Stella, a tough loss, but hope springs eternal, and we have a good group. So,
Yep.
Well,
and a
thanks.
young group. It's a
Yes,
young group.
it is a
That's
young
the
group.
thing. It's a developing group.
Just before we move on to the Chief Watch, I just want to say one thing. The critics have come out again. Now, yes, we shouldn't have given up that lead, and you've got to learn to protect the lead, but it's a young team, and Sydney are the number 1 team in the comp in the last 6 weeks. If you look at all the stats and all of the key indicators, they are clearly number 1 in the comp. They're not a 0-6 team.
Yeah.
So people just need to realise that.
Can I also say, so
It's not an excuse.
So
that's a
when the
fact.
commentators are saying, even at three-quarter time, if a side's 5 goals down, that they're still in it because you can kick
are.
goals really quickly. So I'm not saying it's a route, but just because you're 6 goals up early doesn't mean it's game over.
No, exactly.
Obviously, particularly in this, because I reckon more and more this year we've seen sides come from 4, 5, 6 goals down early in the game and win games. So,
good point.
Well, last one, Aaron Crease reckons been played off.
Go.
He says we've got to work on the goal kicking when we get our
Yes.
opportunities. Can we bring the posts closer together to improve our accuracy?
No.
Richo, that would never have worked.
Bring
I
them
would have thought.
closer together. No, we just got to bring them
shorter.
down, make them shorter.
Yeah.
Right.
Go back to about the early 2000s, late 90s.
Yeah.
Shorter posts, goal kicking.
I think just 2 witches' hats in the ground would be better.
I had
How
the
would you think about
stats.
that?
The stats from Champion Data suggest that after they were higher from 2002 or 3 onwards,
Yep.
goal kicking set shots have dropped about 2%.
Well, what about if we made it just 2 witches' hats in the ground? 2 white witches' hats.
Don't be silly.
Don't be silly.
Champion Data confirmed it. We're going to punch through this today, but you might have noticed, Tone, on your club email account, and you too, JB, and Scon's out there, that there was an all-staffer email sent around by Alexa, who works on reception at the club.
Yeah.
And the email concerned...
I think she's the general manager of First Impressions.
Yes.
That's her title.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alexa, lovely girl. I don't know if she listens, but anyway, she sent around an all-staffer, okay, to everyone, and it was regarding the fact that someone had parked their car in Brendan's parking spot.
Oh, yeah.
And that they removed that car very, very quickly.
Yep.
Now, it came from Alexa's email account. She didn't write that email.
Who wrote it?
Brendan did.
Oh.
He went out to reception and used Alexa's email account.
Oh, no.
Because he didn't want to look like he was being, precious. And he sent that email out from Alexa's.
So he filthed up.
He filthed up because someone parked in his car park. Seriously,
no.
Brendan.
No.
And another revelation, I said earlier on the intro, that GR's jacket...
Well, it's still missing.
It's not here.
It's still missing from the cabinet there. Yep.
Roland,
in the museum.
Roland wants it back. Now, we've said here before on Chief Watch that Brendan's been seen wearing it a couple of times.
The overcoat. The
overcoat.
Yep.
His son Donovan's now been spotted wearing GR's overcoat.
Oh, no.
Yeah. After the game Saturday,
that's outrageous.
a spy of mine walked into Brendan's office
Wouldn't
after
fit
the
him
game.
that well.
No, it was too big for Donovan. But Donovan was wearing GR's jacket, Brendan's son.
No.
We want it returned to the museum.
With the number 25 that's now on the back of it.
It's almost like an old duffel coat now. So we're still trying to get GR's jacket back.
Oh, no, we've got to get it back. Definitely.
Don't go too far, Richo. This is going to be punchy. So your rant's up next.
Punchy.
Sunday we're playing Carlton. Kids get in for free. Ticketek.com.au. I know you tweeted out yesterday. Ticketmaster. It's Ticketek.
Come on,
Ticketek.com.au
mate.
to get along to our game against Carlton.
Kids go free.
On Sunday. Yeah, kids get in for free every Sunday. The Superstore, Tigerland Superstore, will be open from 11 a.m. with the end of financial year sale continuing ahead of the clash with up to 75% off selected items. And finally, the homecoming hero this weekend.
Ah, yes.
You're going to talk about the fashion sense, aren't you? It's Paul Broderick.
Yeah. What will he be wearing, do you think?
I just hope that Charlene goes out and gets him some new kit.
The new leather tie?
Because he seriously has been wearing the same clothes since 1994.
Do you reckon he might come out in a cardie? A little cardie?
Poor old Brodders. Seriously, mate. Go out and get some new kit for be the homecoming hero.
He's a ripping bloke.
I bet she has a chambray shirt on.
He's a ripper, Brodders. And well deserved.
He
Welcome
is the
home,
worst
Brodders.
dressed person I've ever seen. Great player, though, Brodders.
Great bloke.
And a very, very good player, and was instrumental in
he
Richmond turning it around in the mid-90s when he came to the club with Michael Gale.
Exactly.
I'm really getting sick of something.
What is it?
I'm sick and tired of everyone pursuing this Dustin Martin contract scenario every single day.
It is sickening.
Every single day. It has been made clear from the start by Dustin and his management that he is going to see out the season and then have a look at all of his offers.
So why do they keep going over the same thing?
Why? I don't understand why. It cannot be clear. No, there's been no different messaging coming out from Dustin and his management.
I know.
And that's his right. Exactly. Yes, as Richmond supporters, we'd love him to sign up. You would, I would, JB would, Scones would.
Let's ask Grigger when he comes
All the Richmond supporters would. Griggy will want him to sign up. We'll ask Griggy.
Yep.
But Dustin has told everyone what he is doing, and he's entitled to do that. So why do we have to have it in the paper every single day? I'm sick of it.
Because I can't think of anything else to ask. They just go over the same thing all the time.
Why aren't they talking about Nat Fyfe's contract every day?
I know. Exactly.
Why?
Hutchie might say they're growing the game out of it. Maybe a few more doorstops might be the way to
go. Just give it a rest, please, for a few days.
Leave it alone. Just leave it alone.
There's Roland. Go, Roland.
Anyway, off the back of talking about Alex Rance and how he's come on in leaps and bounds, my top 10 Tigers this week's the top 10 who went from zero to hero. Now, that's a little bit sort of over the top, but what I'm talking about is, Matty...
Can I just interrupt?
Please.
You should have done your top 10 administrators because we're sitting here in the old boardroom.
Yeah, well, I'll do that next time we're in here.
There's photos of Ian Wilson and Crowe and
Walt Disney.
Alan Bond.
Yeah, I'll do that next time, all right? Al Board. It looks like Walt Disney, Al Board.
Yeah, he
anyway.
does.
So what I'm talking about is players that have really improved, come from a very slow start and become, stars,
like Rancy.
Top players like Rancy, or even during a season they've come from, battling and really had an impact. I'll go through in alphabetical order again. Okay, number 1, Dan Jackson.
Yep.
So, it was probably took a while, didn't he, to find his feet here? Went on to become a really important part of the midfield, added
Best
the grunt
and
there,
fairest winner.
and became a Jack Dye medalist
That's
in
good.
2013.
I agree with that.
Number 2, Andy Callaway.
Yeah.
A teammate of yours. Was on the SUP list. Came off, probably a bit quiet first couple of years, ended up becoming a Jack Dye medalist in 2000 and All-Australian same year in 2000.
Andy Callaway was one of the great intercept markers.
Yep. Went on and played 170 games here. So that's
one
a
of the
real
funniest blokes I've played footy with.
Dry sense of
very
humour.
funny.
Yeah.
Chubber.
Yeah. Number 3, bloke we were talking about before off air, the great the push-up. Jakey King. He came off the rookie list. Was at Coburg initially, or then on our rookie list. Started off as a back pocket, and then established himself as a really dangerous small forward, important player, part of the team structure.
I've worked out why he does all the weights. He's got that big neck and the shoulders. Because he's got a gold chain hanging around his neck at the moment.
So he has to build his neck muscles up.
Weighs about 20 kilos.
Be pure gold too.
Yeah.
Pure gold, so number 4, obviously Rancy, in alphabetical order. Slow start, obviously, to his career. I think, didn't Dimmer say a few weeks ago he would have traded him for a six-pack or something, He's solid. He's Magnum champagne now. There's no doubt about that. So
he's French champagne.
French champagne, triple All-Australian, obviously in line for 4 in a row this year, and a 2015 Jack Dye medalist. Number 5 is your old man, Matty Bull. So he played 51 games only in his first 6 seasons. And then Len Smith's arrival, and then Tommy after that, pivotal part of that 67 premiership side, and with his handball, and was a real pioneer with his handball. Oh, it's true. Number 6, now this might surprise you a bit. Number 6, the good mate of mine, good mate of ours, Michael Disco Roach.
I didn't know he was slow to start.
He was slow to start, mate. He played 12 games in the first 2 years, probably eased in a little bit in 77. 12 games, 9 goals in his first 2 years. Was a skinny wingman in his first 2 years. And then in 1979, kicked 90 goals, and his career just took off from there and became a gun, obviously champion full forward. Number 7, Johnny Ronaldson went from hardly playing at all in 67. Had only played grand final in 67 was his 20th game, and he'd only kicked 8 goals, and of course he stepped up to become a hero on the day with 3 goals. So huge effort. Now number 8, again another one that might surprise you, is Kevin Sheedy. Came over from VFA club Paran, and had a slow start to his career. It was actually, someone said that he couldn't kick over a jam tin, and he was slow, and got dropped during that season, and then did his knee, but came back and established himself as a top back pocket player, and then a gun ruck rover, and played in 3 premierships.
If you don't hurry up, you're going to out
Number 9 was
Sting.
Number 9 was Tucky. He was last year's homecoming hero. Made his debut in 2004. End of the year, into 2004, was out of him and Tim Fleming, who stayed on the list. He got the nod.
And he's a very, very good player.
Very good player. 7 top 10 finishes in the Jack Dye medal. And the final one was a mate who's sadly no longer with us, Peter Woosher Welsh. Came over from Hawthorn. Was on the interchange bench for the reserves in the final round of the 1980 season. and then played the entire final series and was a star in that final series and played in the Premiership 1980.
That's not bad.
Good.
I think you're back in a bit of form.
Good.
So next week
Pleased.
you're going to do your top 10 administrators.
No, I'm not.
Oh, okay.
No.
You're not going to?
Now that you told me, no, I'm not.
No?
I'm like a little kid in that regard.
Okay.
Just no.
All right. Okay, well, let's have a look at the Swans game. We've probably talked about it a little bit already, but we should do some votes then. We won't preview Carlton because we'll talk to Griggy about Carlton a bit later on.
Good point.
Yeah.
Votes, well, I'll go first if you like.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, all right. I go, 3 to Rance because we've spoken about how great he was. 2 to Dave Asprey again. We've spoken about how good he was, and we've also mentioned this bloke. I had to get Shea Bolton into the votes. I know he faded a bit in the second half, but his first half he was best on ground.
I didn't see the first half because I was on a plane going to the Gold Coast.
He was
I've got to look at it on replay.
Yeah, you should.
I've seen the 2 goals.
He had 12. He had 7 in the first quarter and 2 goals. He had 12 touches to half time.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Right, so his other touches were pretty handy.
Yeah,
weren't
he did.
I think they were contested ones as
Yeah,
well. Yep.
yeah,
Anyway,
yeah.
so I agree with you wholeheartedly, Green. They're my votes too.
Is that right?
Good.
Yes.
Great
Nothing
minds.
more to add?
Great minds think alike.
I've given 3 to Alex Rance. Buddy got frustrated, I reckon. I was late in that game. Buddy was showing a bit of frustration at the toweling that he copped from Alex Rance. He got 3. I gave 2 to Trent Cotchin. I thought he was pretty good. Pretty good.
And they targeted him too.
They did. And Trent was probably the highest ranked player on the ground, just about, apart from Rancy, if you look at sort of the rankings. And I gave 1 to Dave Asprey. I thought he was good. He took 13 marks, and he continues to get better and better every single week. Will he play on Casbolt this week?
Yeah, I reckon he will.
Yeah.
I reckon he will.
Okay, so the leaderboard, no votes for Dustin Martin. I reckon it's about the first week he hasn't got votes, just about this season. 58, Dustin Martin. Rancy has overtaken Trent today. He's into second position on 39. Koch third on 34. Jack, 20. And our man, TT's own Shawn Grigg, rounds out the top 5.
Very solid.
Look who's just wobbled in before we get into the yellow and black.
Oh, yes.
He's ready to go.
He is indeed.
You know why?
Why?
Did you see his work on
Yeah, he's doing commentary.
Yeah.
our man Louis?
Yeah.
He's turning into the next Bruce McAvaney.
Oh, the next Sam McClure.
Yeah. The yellow and black is I'll start off.
Yeah, of course you will. Of course.
I'm wobbling as much as our man Lou over there. Don't worry about that.
Yeah.
I said that Alex Rance and Dave Asprey in combination, because that's how it works down back now. You don't have the same matchup all day.
You get on with it.
I said they'd keep Lance Franklin to 2 goals or less, and
That was
they
a
did.
big call. Yep.
Now, you said 2 goals, and they actually kept
No, I
him to
said
1.
2 goals or less,
Oh, okay.
and they kept him to 1.
Right.
So I think, JB, you would say I nailed that.
I would.
All right,
I'd pay that. I
we'll
would
give
pay
you that.
Yep.
Will you give
Just.
that to me?
Yep.
I'll just give you that.
Yep. Scones, do you give me that one?
Yep, all clear.
Scones nodding. So this week I'm saying that Kane Lambert will go to Doherty, Sam Doherty, probably the most informed halfbacker in the comp.
Yeah, yeah.
And he will restrict Doherty to under 20 touches.
Okay.
You might say, oh, that's still a lot, but he's averaging nearly 30.
Yeah, yep.
So I'm saying he'll cut him back a third to under 20.
Okay, what happens on the other halfback flank with
Simpson?
Yeah.
Well, you can't afford to have 2
No,
probably
you can't.
negative
No,
rolls,
no.
but I would
Okay.
go to Doherty.
Okay, fair enough.
So I think Lambert will go to him and get.
Well,
he'll have
you're
less
on a
than
roll,
20.
so let's hope that continues.
Thank you.
Shall I go next? Well,
Please.
last week I said that the job George Hewitt had done on Johannesson couldn't be repeated, and the Bashahuli would have a bigger influence off half back. Richo told me to add a layer, so I threw in an arbitrary number of 8 rebound 50s.
It's unfair that he does that.
He stitched me up. He got 7, so...
7.
I'd almost give him that.
I'm going to give you that.
Yeah, thanks,
given he got coaches' votes too, we'll give you that.
I'm going to give you that,
yeah,
Joe.
so I'll claim
Okay.
that. Gee, Liam Jones has been in good form, hasn't he?
has. Unbelievable story, Liam Jones.
This week I reckon Jack might just have his measure with a goal a quarter.
Really?
4 goals.
Little bag.
Yeah,
Yep.
little back.
I'd hope for that.
Good kid, Liam Jones.
Yep.
Played with his old man down in Tassie, Bobby
right?
Jones.
Oh, Bobby Jones.
Bobby played 20-odd
Yeah,
games at St Kilda.
Yep. Big Bobby Jones.
And one of the nicest blokes you'll ever meet, Bob Jones. And Liam's a very nice kid as well.
Yep. Well, hopefully you might just give this to me too, because I had big Nank, the big Nank to kick 2 last week. Now he had the 2 shots and he just missed them. So do I get that?
No, you don't get it.
All right, okay, fair enough. All right, well, this week I'm really going strong and bold, out on a limb. I'm going for Tyson Stengel to make his senior debut with the Tigers and to kick multiple goals. There you go.
Do you have some inside
No,
mail
I
on that?
don't have any inside information. How do I know how many goals he's going to kick?
I think you might be right. I think he might play.
Really? Well,
Yeah.
just the fact he got promoted off the rookie list last week, and I don't know. I've just got a gut feel.
What do
Should
you
see
think?
how he went in the VFL.
All right, let's do that. Let's get Lou in.
Shawn, you're looking good. You've come so far. And we know how to make the most of who you are. To let the best of the
Yes, that's VFL report time. That magnificent sting means that it's time to talk VFL with our man Lou Gillett. Is that right, Lou? Did I get it right for the first time ever? Or not?
I think you've got it right before. I think you're just getting into your own.
I'm inside my head about it. But, mate, welcome. And firstly, before we get into the VF, well done, mate. You did some commentary for the website, and it was absolutely first class.
Well, thank you very much, Richard. I thought, I'd maybe add another, how would you say, get something else under my belt, another skill out there.
Yeah.
So
Another layer.
got the call out from Sconsie early on, so I thought, why not?
Well,
Give it a go.
Scones gave you the tick of approval, mate, and the VFL game was a big tick as well.
Very big tick of approval there. Coming up, challenged by 49 points against Geelong. Back at Punt Road. It's only our third game for the year at Punt Road, can you believe it or not? But the good thing is we've won all of our games there. So with another one coming up soon as well, really good signs to be winning all our games on our home turf.
And now a couple of standouts. Who are the better players?
Well, the one that really stood out to me, like obviously there's a lot of your usual suspects. Anthony Miles, again, with his 32 touches, 7 marks, 9 clearances, 7 tackles as well. So again, that really well-rounded score sheet that you're looking for. But the one that really stood out to me was Stevie Morris going forward, led the scoring for the day with 4 goals. He was very, very impressive, and obviously a guy we're pretty used to seeing play at the back and do his best work there. To see that he's got that in his locker to be able to go forward and kick a big bag like that was really good to see.
From the little bit of the game that I did see on Saturday night, Oleg Markov really impressed me. How did he go across the 4 quarters?
Yeah, Oleg Markov, he started off maybe a little bit slower than he would have liked. Still was pretty, without being too impressive, still saw a bit of the footy over the first half, but then finished really strongly. That line-breaking ability, his pace was a real asset for us coming off halfback as well. We've got the stats here. I believe he finished, where have we got him? Yeah, so with his 20 disposals there, 4 marks as well. So he ended up having a pretty well-rounded game, really came home strong.
What about my boy? I'm claiming him anyway. Tyson Stengel.
Tyson Stengel, you're claiming him now, are you, Cleaners?
I'm claiming him.
You've chucked him in your yellow and black for this week. Is that a chance to happen? Tone has gone with Stengel to debut this week.
Well, he's certainly been very impressive, and obviously it was a big week for him coming onto the senior list, getting elevated from the rookie list as well. Came out, was really impressive. I thought he channeled a bit of Jack Rewalt with a big left-footed snap. He's actually gone on the the wrong foot, and he's actually bended it right through. Did finish with 2 goals for, so he had a few chances to bring his tally up a bit more, which he couldn't take. But he's certainly ripe and ready to go, I would think, with some of just how consistent his performances have been at VFL level. So you never know, Greeners. It might be time.
You never know, Tone. I hope he does.
Yes.
It'd be exciting to see another debutant. The issue that we have at senior level clearly is the second tall forward. It was a big issue in the Swans game. We touched on it before and threw up the idea that perhaps Ivan Maric could come in this week. What are your thoughts on that? Did he play okay?
He did play okay. He didn't spend a whole lot of time forward. That would be the only thing I would kind of say about that one there.
But his ruck work was
His ruck work.
His ruck work was great. Ended up with 30 hitouts, so he was obviously really good. Coming up against Wiley Buzzer, young Geelong ruckman with one of the best names in the competition at the moment as well, I've got to say. He had a big challenge going up against him and finished, like I say, with the 30 hitouts there. Was really quite impressive. So if we do need that extra ruckman or that extra tool to come in, he's certainly playing good footy at the moment, and I would think that his name does get thrown into the ring. Yeah.
And Jack Graham got his first game for the
exciting.
in the yellow and black. How did he go? And obviously he would have been on limited time as well.
Yeah, he was on limited time. Only played the first half there, but we still got some great signs seen from him. Fantastic tackling pressure, which I thought was great. Took a few handy marks as well. Only got up to about 9 disposals or thereabouts, but really had that strong presence around the ground. Looked very comfortable slipping in straight away. Sometimes, obviously, coming off a bit of a long-term injury, you might see a player maybe a bit apprehensive of the way they go about it. Jack was certainly just got straight into it, and I think the fans would have liked what they saw from that half of footy that he played.
A couple of other young players, Corey Ellis and Marbior Chol.
Yeah, Corey, probably a bit of a quieter game than what you would usually see from him. Finished with the 11 disposals, but I think the thing that we did point out after the game in having a bit of chat with Ferg that is now up on the website is that even though Corey might not have the disposal numbers that he has had from the past few weeks, he's been up around 30 disposals or thereabouts. You know, he's still finding a way to impact the game. Got our first goal of the day as well. Had a good presence around the ground. Was providing a lot of run, and obviously as well, I think it's well worth pointing out that he is often highlighted by the opposition as a pretty dangerous player if he gets going as well. So even with that tag on him, he still had a great impact on the game, I thought.
And what was the view of the coaching staff after the game, Lou? Did you chat to them?
Yeah, had a bit of a chat to Ferg after the game, and he was obviously quite happy, like we were saying earlier, that we're managing to defend punt road so well. Obviously going 3 from 3 there's pretty impressive too. And also, obviously, Ferg, as particularly our VFL backline coach, was quite impressed by the way that we continue to build our attack from our defence as well.
Yep.
And our structure with a few of the guys back there, like Nathan Broad, Jack Batchelor, young Ryan Garthwaite as well, another one of your favourite screeners.
He went all right?
He did go all right. So another really impressive performance coming out of the back there.
Now, what's up next for the VFL boys?
Back to punt road, thankfully.
yes.
Back to punt road.
The fortress.
Yes. First time we're playing 2 games in a row there this year, which is fantastic. The jungle, if you like, playing the Northern Blues there, who have been in some very, very good form as well. So it should be a very good game, and obviously at home, which is what we like. Would recommend as many fans.
So
to get
where
there as
are we
possible.
on the ladder?
We're now we've bumped ourselves up to 9th, so we're just a single spot out of the 8. The big thing about this week was that we were actually sitting level with Geelong, and they were obviously on the same point. So
The old 8-point game.
Indeed, the old 8-pointer. So we're now knocking on the door, and tell you what, a win against the Blues would be a great way to get in there.
Can I just
Sorry, go,
deliver some
JP.
late
Got one
club
more.
news? If you can't get to the curtain raiser against the Northern Blues, it will be streamed on our website, courtesy of
Oh, there you go.
the VFL. Will be doing a live stream, and we'll tap into that. So
Beautiful. Make sure you check that out, Louis. Well done on your commentary. And
thank you.
it's time for you to exit that seat because you know who's coming in, don't you?
Do I?
Yeah, Griggy.
Oh, Griggy.
He's about to come in. I can see him over there. So, Louis, we'll
Rough
see
back
you
to
next
follow.
week.
Rough
Yes.
back to follow, Griggy.
Oh, Lou with a little chippy.
We give you all we have to give for all the men.
We've been waiting for this all day, Tone, and finally we've been joined by Shawn Grigg. Griggy, thanks for coming in, mate.
No worries, I'm wrapped to be part of it.
Yes.
TT's own
You
Shawn
own.
Grigg. It sounds better than
Yes.
TT's own Brett Deledio, doesn't it?
Does indeed.
Definitely.
Yeah, this is great. Now, mate, you just had the review of the Sydney game. What came out of that review?
Obviously we started well and played the way we wanted to early. Broke down in a few areas after that. Granted, Sydney are a good team as well, but another tight one, which shows on the positive. You know, we're in the games right till the end and giving ourselves a chance to win. On the negative, we've lost a couple of close ones, but we're going okay.
Griggy, the game's been based on real high pressure in your forward half. I think number 1 in the AFL for creating turnovers in the forward half of the ground, but it's a pretty intense style of play. Do you feel late in games that it's taking its toll on some of those guys up forward?
Oh, possibly. I think we saw against the North Melbourne game, our pressure actually rose in the last quarter to a new level. So we've seen over the course of the year we have been able to step it up and continue the high pressure all through games. But to Sydney's credit, they were their pressure was good as well, and some of their bigger bodies got through.
we've seen an injection of small forwards throughout the team this year. Shea Bolton was the one who really stood up in the first half last week. What were your impressions of his game?
Oh yeah, loved it. His first half, he was electric. His reading of the ball off hands was pretty good. Probably something to little crack when you were playing, Richo. He was electric, and love seeing him kick those goals. He's got a little bit of swagger about him, so I think he's just going to get better.
He just glides across the ground, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. When he puts on the pressure as well, he catches up to him really quick. So he doesn't look like he's going very fast sometimes, but he is.
And he can take a hanger too. We haven't seen that yet, but he can, can't he?
Yeah, we will. We'll see that at some stage. We've seen it training a few times in the VFL a couple of times. So, his best is yet to come. He's going to be a good player.
Griggy, have you been enjoying playing with these small forwards and the new players this year? Because they're basically all new. It's Rioli played last year, but the other three basically come in this year. It's been a real added bonus, hasn't it?
Yeah, I have. It's they're a good, vibrant bunch of boys down there. They're just having a crack, and I saw sort of some evidence late last year of what they could be, and we blundered a lot of young players. Granted, we didn't get results, but we gave them an opportunity and a sniff, and over pre-season they took their games to a new level again. So it's no real surprise for us players to see it. It's hard work paid off.
How have you assessed your own season? You've been going really well. Do you think it's your most consistent season?
It's hard to say. Yeah, probably it's been probably my most enjoyable season so far. I've really loved playing with the young boys, and the vibrancy and the energy that they bring is awesome. And might have had another string to be bar up in the ruck now, Grant.
Well, I was going to talk to you about that. Now, have you been is it true that you've been watching tapes of Polly Farmer and Simon Madden and everything just for your ruck expertise?
Yeah, I have. I've jumped in with the ruck boys as well,
Yeah, good,
Ivan and Sean Hampson, getting a few tips off them, and my big mate Sammy Jacobs from Adelaide as well. I actually rucked against him in the centre bounce, which was pretty funny.
So when you do go in, I mean, what do you have him? What is your role when you go into the ruck?
Oh, Dimmer just wants me to sort of compete and enjoy it a bit, and depending on who I'm up against, if it's a smaller second ruckman, I could have a crack. But on the weekend it was the two big boys, Naismith and Sinclair, who are a pretty big unit. So sometimes it'd be silly trying to compete against them in centre bounce, copping a knee in the throat or something like that. So just happy to do whatever's asked.
So your brief, once the clearance is cleared, you'd be just trying to get off them when you expose them for pace?
Yeah, we just try and just play after that, and just give Nank a bit of a chop out, because he's been unbelievable, the big fella, and he shoulders a lot of load now. So if I can just give him a 5-minute chop out here and there, it's going to be better off for us.
When we had our review show during the bye week, we spoke about Dustin Martin in a football sense and how he's been able to grow his game to the next level this year. You know him very well. I'm sure it will come as no surprise, the development he's had this year.
Oh, not at all. He's behind the scenes. He works really hard. His pre-season was very good, and just his self-belief, I think, as well, is pretty good. He's sort of got every attribute you want, and he believes that he's one of the best players in the competition, and he's got that swagger, and kick the ball to me and I'll make it happen. So it's good to see.
What about Rancy, Griggy? I'm just watching his game on the weekend. It's just unbelievable what he's doing. He's just getting better if you can do that. Yeah,
he's an absolute freak. I was interviewed a couple of weeks ago about some of the players I've played with, and he's right up with the best I've ever played with. With Judd and Favola in his prime. Obviously Dusty, Koch, those guys, but. He's just, I would hate to play on him if I was a key forward. He's just an absolute beast, and he reads the game, and he's heart and soul.
What about his apprentice, his backup, Dave Asprey's going pretty well too?
Yeah, his belief with his hands is amazing. He's a good contested mark, and really makes probably Rancy's job easier. Dave's been playing on sort of some of the best forwards, and Rancy's been helping chopping out, and they've him and also Grimesy as well. They work really well, those three.
Hey, Griggy, your old team this week seems like a long time ago that you played at Carlton, but, mate, this is probably just about, huge, apart from that final a few years ago, this would be about the biggest game Richmond and Carlton have played for a while. Yeah,
I reckon. Round one's always good and big, and I love playing against them. I haven't got many mates left. They've had a fairly big change, but it's good to come up against guys like Gibbsy and Cade Simpson, Mark Murphy, who I spent a lot of time with.
What's the key this week to beat him? Because Doherty, is he the key? You've got to shut him down a bit.
We haven't had a look at the Blues yet, but we will in the coming days. Even round one, they were really good then, and they've shown the last 3 weeks they've been really, really competitive and really good. So, the competition again, so even. We're going to have to play our best to win. Hopefully we do.
Just want to ask you about a couple of players that we haven't seen yet at senior level. Ryan Garthwaite and Tyson Stengel.
Big Daryl, Big Daryl.
Big Daryl, yeah, that's right. Yeah. He's going all right? They're coming along well.
Very good. Yeah. I think Garthy's put on about 9 or 10 kilos since he's been here, which his work ethic is amazing. He's always around the club. His day off, he's in, and he just loves being around the boys. He's a real country boy, and the camaraderie, he's fitted in, and he's going to be a good player.
And Tyson Stengel going all right?
Yeah, very, very good as well. He's been promoted, so he's on the edge of playing probably. Yeah. Played another good game. I think he kicked 2 goals 4, 2 goals 5 in the VFL Saturday night. So, he's another sort of pressure forward, cousin of Eddie Betts. Looks similar, plays similar.
I hope he does.
Yeah, a bit of cheek about him off field. He's a ripper.
That's good.
Hey, I want to ask you about the second tall forward. I felt on the weekend late in the game it started to show a little bit because we probably needed someone to take a contested mark. Any chance this week Big Ibby might come in?
I'm not sure. Yeah, he's been playing pretty well. You don't have the Nike still in the wardrobe, do you, Richo? You can dust him off and
Be handy still?
and put him in down with Jack. Yeah,
Stand in
take
the
over
goal.
Jack to be the number one. Jack could be the number 2 then, Richo.
Of course.
Get Jack up the ground and do the hack
that's
work.
right.
I'd like to see that. That'd be good. But yeah, the big boys have been going well. Ivan, he played another good game, and Marby Old Choles learning his craft. So we'll see.
Beautiful.
Now, what about, we need to ask you about the Spud Bar. How is it going? Right, it's going well. And also, I'm concerned because we don't have a Spud Bar down there where I live, down near Bentley. Centre Road Bentley would be ideal. Could we possibly get one down there?
Oh, maybe, yeah. It's going pretty well. We've got 19 stores open at the moment, mostly in Victoria, a couple interstate, but maybe next week I might be able to organise some lunch for us, maybe. Boys. Down from the Swan Street store,
Bring him in next time.
Bring him in.
Hey,
I
now,
will.
Griggy, I've got to ask you some advice. My partner Jen's due in September. You've got a little fella, Sonny.
How old's Sonny now?
He's 3 next week.
Yeah.
I've got another one on the way too.
Oh,
Congrats on that.
Congratulations.
Terrific.
What's the key? What's the biggest thing?
Get some sleep in the bank.
Yeah, no, my advice is just listen to your wife or partner. I think.
I'm doing
just
that.
support. I think just support. Don't offer too many instructions. Just how can I help is probably the best thing you need to say. How can I help?
wise,
I wouldn't go with let's try this or maybe we do that. Just ask how can I help.
Yeah.
That's the
That's
best
very good.
advice.
What can I do?
Yeah, what can I do?
Yeah.
Just,
Don't have the answers.
don't have the answers.
No.
Just be there as the help.
That's
and,
very, very sage advice.
Yeah, and you'll be right.
And TT's former own, Brett Delidio, up in GWS now. You've been in contact with him. How is he adapting up there? And clearly he'd love to be out on the park, but how is he finding it up there?
The biggest thing that he said the change was and pre-season at Richmond, he always used to try and get his top off, but not allowed under Damien Hardwick. Tops on at training,
Yeah,
but,
right.
but up there, they're allowed the tops off. So
Leon's quite comfortable.
it
with
must be. I've seen a few photos of him training with his top off, and so he's pretty happy about that.
Pretty happy with his guns, isn't he, Brett?
He's happy with that, but he might have got a bit too big, I reckon.
So how has your pre-game routine changed now with Lids not here? Who do you catch
So
up with?
we had Dusty and Lids. We did at Brett's house. He used to cook for us, but Dusty's taken on the responsibility this year.
Cooking.
Dusty's
Dusty,
cooking.
very good cook he is.
What's
actually.
his what's his
It's
go-to?
the same meal.
What is it?
Honey mustard chicken and rice. Bit of
nice.
chilli in there.
Okay.
So I go around to Dusty's now pre-game, and he cooks up. He's actually you'd be
He's all right.
surprised. He's pretty good.
That's good.
Now, I saw a great post on Instagram yesterday. I think it was Shane Edwards' Instagram post. She had a fancy dress night Saturday night. It's good to get the boys together for a social night, but there was some good-looking outfits going around. Who took the chockies there?
I like Shane Edwards. He was Zoolander, and Big Sean Hampson was Magatu from the movie Zoolander.
Right. So what was the theme? The theme was
It was movies. Not at the movies. So
Okay.
they were pretty good. Dimmer and Danielle Hardwick, they came as something about Mary. That was pretty good.
They were very good. Yes.
Yeah, Dimmer was good. Yeah, no, it was a good night. Boys got together and enjoyed each other's company. It was good.
Who'd you go as?
I was a cowboy from Brokeback Mountain, actually.
Oh, yeah.
I was supposed to go. Dusty was supposed to be my partner, but of course didn't follow through and come in his casuals in the end. So he let me down.
Beautiful. Hey, we've got to ask you about Dusty. You feeling confident that he'll be around next year?
I hope so. Yeah, he loves being around the boys. He loves the club. The chief's all over it. I think he said the club's pretty comfortable with where it's at. So. I'll back the big chief in. He's a good operator, but I'd love to see Dusty the yellow and black. I can't sort of picture him in other colours.
No,
it's a bit different.
I don't even want to try and picture it.
Don't think about it. No, definitely
Now,
not.
Griggy, before we let you go, mate, you're going to be a regular over the last part of the year. So next time you come in, you've got to bring your own sting in.
Okay.
Just a little intro. Make it creative.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And just maybe a little segment idea. Just
Okay,
you
I
need to
will.
bring
I
something.
will. I'll bring something to the table. I will.
right,
I'll have a think this week, and I'll get something.
Need to bring something to the table. So we might roll into your segment now. Griggy, do you mind hanging
Yeah,
around just for the
definitely.
last
Yep.
couple of minutes here? This is Tone's number one segment, The Spirit of 1967.
Right. Well, you might recall that last week we're coming off the state game, all right? So
Just tell Griggy what you're doing.
So what I do, Greg, each week is it's a flashback to 1967 because that was the premiership year. We broke a 24-year drought back then. So we just look back 50 years, what we're doing, what was happening this time 50 years ago. So anyway, on 50 years on next Saturday. We played Melbourne at the G. It was round 10. Had a big win, 24-14, 158 to Melbourne's 12-981. Now, John Northey, who was at the function recently, the Premiership reunion function, kicked 6 goals, 26 disposals, so, which was huge numbers for him because he was a sort of elusive half forward, didn't normally get a lot of touches, so 26 was huge. Bones Richardson, so Dan's old man, Bones.
There's a picture of Bones just behind you there.
Yeah, that's right. Kick 5. Royce kicked 4. Mike Patterson 3. Your old man was outstanding this day, Matty. He had 29 disposals, 14 kicks, 15 handballs and 9 marks. Johnny Perry, who got life membership recently, this was his best ever game here, 30 disposals with 10 marks. Dick Clay, 26 disposals, and Billy Barrett, 26. Now, interestingly, debutant that day for the Tigers was Graham Bond, of course, who Throw W stats man for many years. Made his debut at 17 years, 209 days.
It's a quick player, Bond.
Very quick, nickname Racehorse, and went on and played in the 69 Premiership side as well. So it was a really good win that day. Now, that was it for the footy side of it. But given that Grigg is involved now in the food industry, I just thought I'd look back through Footy Week, which gives me a lot of this archival stuff. They have these Footy Week specials that they used to have, right, of Dickens food markets and the New World supermarkets. And just interesting with some of the prices for some of the food items there back in 1967. So the Steggles whole chicken was going for 95 cents.
For a whole chicken?
For a whole chicken, 95 cents. A packet of 6 crumpets, and who doesn't like crumpet, with 10 cents, or a pack of 6.
Jay Schultz's nickname used to be Crumpet.
Is that right? Yeah, 10 cents. The can of Pal dog food was going for 18 cents.
What was a spud worth?
A spud was going for, you could get you could get a pound of spuds for 23 cents.
Oh,
it's
I'd
just
like
amazing.
that one.
It's all right.
The bottom margin would be pretty good.
Huge.
What do you pay per spud at Spudberg?
I don't know the exact, Richard, but we're a cheap option for a lunch, so we don't make much.
Well,
too
we
much.
were talking before.
we just want to produce the good food that fills you up. That tastes nice.
We were talking about the slow cooked, meat and everything. We were talking about like the beef cheeks would be nice in the spud bar and everything. But you do the
there's a lot of different options.
Pulled pork.
You got pulled pork.
Yeah, there's pulled pork. There's a slow cooked lamb at the moment as well.
Nice.
So I'll sort it out for maybe
awesome.
next week.
And you know how many fast food places there would have been in Melbourne like 50 years ago? None. There was no McDonald's. Nothing. There was no pizza chains or anything like that.
What about your gags? You got anything else?
Yeah, well, of course I've got some gags. Well, I'll go through a few. Got a few other things there. The mandarins, 8 for 20 cents.
Yeah.
Jar of Vegemite for 69 cents. And a packet of Arnott's Sayo biscuits. Who doesn't like the Arnott's Sayos?
Bit of Vegemite
16 cents.
Yeah.
16 cents anyway. Here we go.
Righto. He always puts his gag on the post-it notes, Griggy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you just put it on the pad?
Well, I don't want to. It just works for me.
Righto.
It just works. Part of what I do. Hear about the 2 chickpeas that were walking down the street, and one started to vomit.
Yeah.
And the other chickpea asked, "Are you okay?" And the chickpea answered, "No, I falafel."
Greeners. Greeners.
No good. Now, the oldest computer can be traced back to Adam and Eve. Yeah. It was an apple, but with extremely limited memory, just one bite. And then everything crashed after that too. I wasn't able to make reservations in my local library.
Yeah.
No, they were fully booked.
Are they usually like this, Richard?
Yeah, they're worse.
This is our 169th episode today, Griggy, and he's been doing these for 169. I don't know where you get them from.
What's the definition of a cannibal?
What?
Someone who is fed up with people. Now, I need to tell you about a mate of mine. This mate of mine, he doesn't have a lot of luck with finding jobs, right? No, so he had to quit his job in a muffler factory. It was too exhausting for him. He then got a job as a professional fisherman, but he had to leave when he found out he couldn't live off his net income. And then after many years of trying to find steady work, right, he finally got a job as a historian. Until he realised there was no future in it.
Careeners. See, Richo, you're going to have to get used to these gags. They're a bit like dad jokes. When you become a dad, you've got to get used to these.
That's right, yeah. And then
Reel them off at any time.
And then your kids just criticise you.
Oh, no.
Don't find it funny at all.
It's all in front of me.
Yeah.
Hey, good work, Greeners. Griggy, thanks for coming in, mate.
No
Beautiful.
worries.
Good
I've
luck.
got a bit of work to do this week. Bit of thing for the show. So.
Yeah. Come up with something original, and hey, good luck on
Yeah,
Sunday.
just get us
against
over the
boys.
line on Sunday, that's all. That's
Will
all you got to
do.
do.
Thank you.
Okay, that's been Talking Tigers. Email JB, talkingtigers@richmondfc.com.au. We'll be back next week. Thank you.